Welcome to Something Funny, the podcast where two funny guys talk about their unpolished comedic observations, bits, and wacky premises. If you ever find yourself saying there's something funny about this, but I can't put my finger on it, this is the podcast for you. I'm Eric, and this is my lovely co-host Bill. How you doing today, Bill?
I'm a bit under the weather, Eric. I just have this frog in my throat. I just can't get rid of it. I'm getting over a sickness, and I do apologize. So
I do remember when we were younger, they would call you Tadpole Throat Bill. I thought it might have had a sexual thing to it, but no, I get it. It's from the frequent sore throats you'd get, not so much from the little guys swimming around in there with their tails.
Hey, let's keep the personal stuff to a minimum.
Actually, let's get personal here. Bill, that's a great name. Bill's a great name. I think you told me once that the cool thing about being a Bill is that you can be a Will, a Bill, a Willie, a Billy, a William, or a Liam. And the Liam one I didn't know. I didn't realize Liam is actually a short form chop off the first half of William. That's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that you have so many first name options, so many built-in aliases.
Well, you have some. You have Eric, Rick.
Anyway, on that note, first names, talking about today canceled names and cancel culture. And with the Will, Bill, Willie, Liam thing, and the Eric thing, it's kind of like, I guess you're in the unique position that if there ever was a canceled Bill or William, you could always just switch it up without having to legally change anything. You could become Liam like that.
No, I don't have to worry about Bill. Bill is just too popular. Too many people are Bills. Like, look at Bill Cosby. Canceled. But you know what? Bill's still around because there's just too many of us. Too many Wills, too many Bills. Look at Will Smith with the slap in the face. But you know what? I can still go with Will. There's too many of us. Now, if you have like an odd name, some sort of unusual name.
Like that guy, Judas Epstein.
Yeah, I was invited to his island, and then I was like, nope, thanks.
Wait a minute, me and 12 other people with Judas Epstein? Something about this doesn't seem right. I'll pass.
It was a brunch. It wasn't a supper.
Bill Burr's got a famous bit out there about the Hitler name being canceled. And his thing was about how, specifically, even the first name got canceled.
Okay, so I was thinking, Adolf Hitler. You know what? Anybody in Adolf's family with the Hitler last name, after they lost the war, would have been like, oh, looks like we got to change her last name. What are you going with? You going with Smith? I'm going with Jones. I know not really the classic German name, but we can't be Hitlers anymore. What are you going with? I'm going with Hun. I think it's been enough time since Attila, like, they would have had to change their name. There's no way that if you are a lawyer, I'm going to Hitler, and Ross. Oh, I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
They're great with personal injury lawsuits. Nothing is ever your fault with Hitler, and Ross.
We don't get paid if you don't get paid.
I feel like there's a joke in there that will even take their teeth.
How many babies since what is it, 1934 or 1943?
45.
Whatever it is,
yeah.
Were named Adolf. How many?
You got to imagine in German, it probably was as common as Adam, right? And I don't know, like
Adolf and Eve. Oh, I don't think it's. Don't think it had the same ring to it.
Well, I just mean in terms of how common it was, right? Like, do you ever meet someone and their name doesn't seem quite right? I've got many times. I thought your name was Craig. Apparently, I make an okay Craig.
Yeah, actually, you do look like a Craig. That would have been a perfect name for you.
My parents dropped the ball on that one. I don't know. Maybe they got made fun of by a kid named Craig in school, and in their own little social circle, they canceled Craig.
Yeah, no. The only problem with Craig is like, was that Craig or Greg? I've been calling you Greg all this time. I thought there's Gregory, but there's no Craigery. But I bet you there's some person that named their kid Craigery.
I actually like that, Craigery. That's not
It's
bad.
terrible.
Do you think as the war was taking a turn towards the worse, the Germans who were Hitlers were heading down to the registration office, subtly trying to, like, I don't know, like, you got to figure when the war was going well and you walk into a bar and it's, I'm Jeffrey Hitler, people are probably buying you a drink, right? People are probably, oh, hey, your name's Hitler. Oh, let me buy you a beer over here, right?
Yeah, even before that, I bet his parents were like, you know who's the Supreme Chancellor or whatever he was? That's my son. Adolf Hitler.
Oh, your son went to medical school. Ooh, mine has a job title that he made up. Führer. Never been one before him. You know, do you know if he had any siblings? Do you think Hitler was an only child? I mean, we could easily Google this, but I'm not going to bother.
It's famously known that he had 26 siblings, and he was the youngest. Yeah, they all had to change their names, so there's a huge Hitler family out there without...
So wait. There were 26 plus him, so literally one more than the alphabet characters. And they ended with an A baby, not a Z baby? Or a ZA?
They started
or an
Z
AA?
and they worked their way backwards.
I figure you should have been Aaron. AA, you know? A, B, C, D, all the way to Z, and then AA, B, B, C, C.
Yeah, Zorro Hitler. That would have been... he would have been such a great leader.
I really wish I could do a German accent. I feel like there's a funny, like, was ist this? With the Z. You know, people probably who didn't even know Adolf probably did at a point think about heading down to that office as the war was turning and, like, getting the paperwork to change that last name up. I don't think traveling with a German passport with the last name Hitler would have been great in, like, 1942 either.
Yes, even something that was closer. Mittler. I'm Mittler. You have to change it a little bit further. You gotta go completely different. It can't be close at all.
Mick Hitler.
I'm Scottish. The name is...
You were going to try to do a fake Scottish done by a fake German, right?
Yes.
Yes, I love the haggis. There's nothing worse than trying to do a bad impression, doing a bad impression, right? Sean Connery doing Adolf Hitler. Good luck on that.
You know what?
Or actually the opposite.
Sean Connery is such a great actor. Sorry, not an actor. Movie star. And this is a Craig Ferguson joke. That he doesn't change his voice.
Yes, my name is Ramirez.
Hello, I am Red October. I am a Russian submarine captain. Yes.
And that actually kind of makes me think about the bad people, the quote-unquote bad people in our society whose first names we don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, currently there's this ongoing thing with trying to rename Dundas Street and Dundas Square here in Toronto.
You want to get into Dundas right now? I still think that there's even more to explore in the Hitler topic. I even more. You just want to just talk about the topics that are in Toronto. No, people don't want to hear that. They want to hear about Hitler.
Wait. I want that to be the tagline for this episode. People want to hear about Hitler. It'll be your face with a big smile and the ticker going across the screen. People want to hear about Hitler.
Also, so people want to hear more about Hitler. Please tell us more, Eric.
I like that. Just hot potatoing it to me, yeah? I do think it's kind of funny to talk about, the name did get canceled, right? Like, do you know that bastard Giuseppe Dundas? Do you know what Felix Dundas, Gomez Dundas, Attila Judas Dundas? Do you actually know the guy's first name? I didn't know until I Googled it.
I think you told me his name's Giuseppe.
No, it's Henry, apparently.
You lied to me.
So, well, first of all, I do think it's funny that the guy is so bad that no one actually knows his first name or anything he did. But beyond that, they've chosen this word from Ghana, Sankofa. They're going to call it Sankofa Square for Dundas Square, and it means reflecting on our past mistakes. And I think there's so much comedic potential in the idea of throwing millions of dollars at something named after a dude who no one even knows what he did. Like, if you had a portrait of the guy and two other portraits and you're walking around the street, I'm sure no one would know which one is which, right? Guy who we don't even know. We're going to spend millions of dollars renaming it to a word from a language, not even from this country, when we already have dozens of indigenous groups that have their own languages. There's something so odd about it. And it does beg a lot of questions to me, like reflecting on past mistakes. Okay, can we make it personal? Can we like decorate the inside of the new Sankofa subway station to just have something that appeals to everyone? Because we all have made past mistakes. We've all got regrets. Can we have like, you're riding down the escalator and you got one wall just covered with tattoos of boyfriends and girlfriends who the person's no longer with. You've got pictures everywhere of, people with mullets and like bad high school photos. Can we have like the stock ticker for the cryptocurrency that you didn't get into even though your friend bought it? I don't like the idea of the whole white man bad ethos. I want it to be something that, like, we all make mistakes.
White man bad ethos?
Oh, that's the whole thing these days. Choose a dead white guy and go after him. White man bad. Just like with Trump. Orange man bad, white man bad. I like the idea of us having a bit more skin in the game as people. I love the idea of you getting on the subway, going to your way to work in the morning, and you go through Dundas subway station, and they redecorate it over the weekend, and you see something there that makes you reflect on something that you did.
Can you tell me what he did bad, by the way?
Dundas? Apparently, he did not oppose slavery in the U.S. sufficiently. No one even knew about this, right? Some group of, I guess, activists took it on themselves to spearhead this movement. And I'm pretty sure this is all going to be at taxpayers' expense. The last number I heard was like 30 million, which is crazy to me. I actually might be on board with the renaming via Sharpie and spray paint thing. Just because we give the tourists something to talk about, Every Dundas street sign has like got devil horns on it. And the word sucks. Dundas sucks. That would be interesting. That would be like Instagrammable.
So all the Zorro Dundases are going to the offices right now. I'm like, yeah, I need to change my last name. It's apparently my great grandfather. He had some racist thoughts and
he had some insufficiently woke thoughts that were actually common at his time.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's interesting to think that the current living Dundases are in that position of probably like, hey, what's all this shit I'm hearing about, what was the guy's name? Ebenezer Dundas? What did he do?
Well, you see...
First of all, it was Henry. He was on my dad's side of the family.
And he hated Christmas.
He kept saying, happy holidays. Well, the idea of renaming something, it's... I kind of feel like if you're going to spearhead the movement, it ought not to come out of taxpayers' money. I actually like the idea of letting these activists get their way if they raise the money by themselves. Like, it makes me think of being a kid.
Selling chocolate bars and...
I had to sell chocolate-covered almonds. I had to go goddamn door to door for, like, school supplies and sports equipment for my school, and we acted like it wasn't a pathetic, shameful thing that the goddamn school didn't have fucking money. Let these people, they're all like middle-class activists who live in big houses, let them go door to door trying to sell $7 chocolate bars. Knock, knock, knock. Let it be a guy with gray hair already. Yeah, it's $7 because, names are important. I notice your door creaks and you got children running around who look hungry inside. You want to buy a $7 chocolate bar?
It's funny. The kid goes to the door. It's like, I have a tournament in Ottawa, and this is going to help supplement my team so I can go and work on the national championship. And people are like, all right, fine, little kid, I'll give you the opportunity. I'll buy a chocolate bar.
Yep.
And then the next knock to the door is this old man. It's like, knock, knock, knock. So, do you like racism? And they're like, no, I don't. Well, this guy, Dundas, huge racist. His name, everywhere. So, what I'm saying is you buy this $15 chocolate bar and we'll get rid of his name. I'm okay with that. I already got that $7 chocolate bar from that kid there that's going to Ottawa.
That kid with those big, beautiful eyes.
Yeah, yeah. Your eyes are kind of spiteful and get off my property. So Eric, actually, instead of going door to door, right? These people raising money. I was thinking that maybe they could sell people or sell things so that they could make a lot more money that way. So if
Wait. Did you just say that the people who want to cancel this racist guy should go door to door selling people?
that is correct, Eric. I think
They're bringing people around in chains.
we're against this guy's racist. What he said, didn't oppose racism, but we don't we just oppose that, but we're not opposed to
Selling people in general.
slavery.
We don't mind selling people if the people become pets.
So what do you say? Do you want to have a pet person? It's $2,500.
No work, right? You're not going to put them to work with anything. No chores. You're going to let them like lounge in the front of the house in the window and look at strangers as they walk past. Basically, we'll sell you this person if you treat them like a house cat. You good with that?
Wait. You have to pass this question first. Do you mind if they're black? Oh,
Not a deal breaker.
oh, don't be racist. That's what we're against. We're not against slavery. Or we. Or sorry.
We're not against selling people.
We're against slavery. We're not against people having people as pets. And you can teach pets how to do tricks.
But you can't make money from it or it's work. With the renaming, I can see people do have sensitivities, and I figure we just need to make a rule that from now on, we're naming everything after either numbers, colors, or animals. Go with things that will always be safe. There's no, you find out a polar bear, like, maimed a little Inuit child. You're not going to cancel the polar bear. You're going to say, well, it was a polar bear. Kid got kind of close to it. Probably looked pretty tasty. We're going to be forgiving when the polar bear transgresses. You never get angry at numbers. Colors, I don't know, maybe. Like, okay, you could have Black Street and White Street. Mulatto Street, it gets a little bit charged.
You know what? That little Inuit kid, little child, he deserved it. Melting those polar ice caps, building fires down there. We're not going to cancel the polar bear. Global warming is.
I'll meet you down at 14th and Polar Bear. Oh, cool. What? My dad got killed by a polar bear. Like, there's always going to be someone who's ready to be outraged. I think you got to future-proof your naming. I think that's got to be the lesson.
Like the car companies where they have to check all their car names before they send them out there. Like, okay, this name is good in this language, in this language, in this language. Oh, good across the board. Oh, wait. In Polynesian, this word is means.
I love sodomy. So the thing about the renaming of stations and stuff that literally cost millions is, I think it does strike a lot of people as petty. It's petty to spend so much money on something that doesn't improve anyone's life in a way. And I do not like the way that we keep it small and kind of stupid. I want to see it go bigger. Like, we got rid of the penny a few years ago because it was too expensive to make a penny. It cost more to make a penny than a penny was worth. That is the perfect opportunity to make it the name and shame denomination. You want to start going after dead guys who didn't quite live up to modern standards? Great. Stick that guy's name on a penny that cost 3 pennies to make. Circulate it around so that we can all get in on it, you know? Make that the name and shame denomination. I want to see, like, make it an annual thing. Make it a vote every year that's mandatory. We all got to vote for who we want to name and shame the next year. I think it'd be fascinating. You have, like, the worst picture of the guy you can find on the front. Like, if there's a Polaroid of the guy sneezing, go with that. And on the back, put a QR code so you can scan it and find the Wikipedia article to actually find out what this guy did that was so bad. I like that idea a lot. I like the idea of making it a learning experience, and I like the idea that because it's ongoing, it could end up being one of your relatives next year. That'd be fun, I think.
Oh no! Bill's in the lead right now. No, I don't have to worry about
Shit, my
that.
team's coming up second. It's the opposite of sports, where your team is doing well and you're associated because you're from that city. I like the idea of the opposite of like, oh fuck, Mitchell's third right now. Who the hell, Ebenezer, Adolf Ebenezer Mitchell? Who the hell was this guy? What, did he marry like my great aunt? Took her name? If it was a poll and we could all see like throughout the year as the date was coming up, like who the top 10 are, you'd meet someone whose name is in the top 10 and you'd be stopping them like, dude, what's up with your people? What's your problem? You know?
I can't believe you think that guy's the biggest piece of shit. Obviously, my guy is the biggest piece of shit. How are you voting for him? But you'd all be talking about it like, oh, that guy?
Yeah.
No, that's all he did? Ah, who cares about that? Who cares that he's against racism? He was for slavery.
I do like the idea that like you could see it as the year in the polls. That guy who you never met, his last name's the same as yours, and he's pulling up in the polls, and you're feeling, oh man, do I got to change my name? We'll know in November. I also like the idea of kids seeing the penny and this guy's on it, you know, like, would you even bend down to pick up a penny anymore? We don't even use them anymore. 5 years ago, I would see pennies on the street and like think to myself, well, it does have it is money, but you'd stop yourself like, nah, I don't want to get seen picking up a penny. You know what I mean?
But if you're picking it up and you're like, oh, look, this is
who's this son of a bitch?
yeah, this is Dundas. Already have 5 of these ones. Throw it back on the ground.
Oh wow, a woman. What did this one do? Hashtag feminism. Hashtag fuck her.
What I find interesting though is these celebrities. Okay, do you think there's a reason for celebrities to name their children such unusual names like Blanket or Pilot or Your Majesty? Or I think Elon Musk is one kid is like
I saw something about that.
A to the 12. Like,
I do think that when you get a lot of wealth and power, you do get a bit out of touch, and it's so bizarre that you'd want to like that's going to be a person. Why are you doing something weird to that person? You know, like whether or not I look like a Greg or not. A Greg is not going to be like, I'm not going to have to tell this goddamn story to everyone I meet after I learn how to talk.
So, well, when you name somebody, you want a unique name. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to name my son Henry or George or Kyle. There's a million of those. I want something unique. And then you're like, yeah, I want my son's name to be Lancelot Moonshine. Right? Moonshine's cool. That's kind of bad. And Lancelot, like that makes me think of royalty. That's a cool name. Pretty cool now, but like in the future, that kid's gonna have to think about, oh, should I have to explain like, oh, I wasn't named after the Three Musketeers. My dad just liked it because it sounded like royalty, and he didn't really know much about that. But then there's a whole minefield where you got to avoid names like Adolf or Elon. There is historical baggage with it, and you're named after that racist bigot. Your name's Eric. Yeah. Maybe your kid's up to the challenge of canceling his own name.
Well, it's true. Like, Steve Smith is never going to be canceled. There's too many of them running around, right? But you name your kid like Alaska Van Gogh Mitchell. That kid, he's perfectly primed to commit an atrocity. Like, he whistles at a waitress. He can probably get that combination of syllables canceled.
Alaska Van Gogh, are you like an explorer and artist? Are you about to chop your ear off? I'm a bus driver.
Hey, it's essential service, okay? Get off my back. Behind the yellow line, sir.
Alaska Van Gogh.
That's a lot to take on. I feel like at my point in life right now, if I were to try to get my name canceled, I wouldn't know where to start. I'd feel pretty behind. Like, the amount of influence I'd have to get to be notable, to be then cancelable. Like, I'm not going to get a group of people behind me and do my own Holocaust.
Whoa! I'm not saying do your own Holocaust, but you know, you have Van Gogh out there. You can draw a few pictures and then sleep with a few hookers. Cut off not just one ear, cut off 2 ears, and then.
I'm going with the nose. You can't miss a nose that's missing. He's always picking it too. It's so convenient without any of that fleshy bit in front. Oh man, I'm grossing myself out here. Yeah, anyway, I find it really odd that we had to cancel Dundas, we had to cancel Ryerson. No one knew these guys' first names. Everybody knows Tim Hortons' first name, at least in Canada. Famous hockey player from Hamilton, Ontario. Internationally famous in the 60s, opened a chain of coffee shops that are literally coast to coast in Canada and a bit in the US too. We know his first name. What would it take to get that bastard Tim Hortons canceled?
Probably raping, maybe a Nazi salute, murder. Like if he's a mass murderer, that would do it.
Well, he's dead, and like there'd have to be a diary found. There'd have to be old CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, footage found of like, you know.
Who do you think the hockey skate serial killer is? You know, with new DNA evidence has pointed at Tim Hortons. What, that famous coffee shop? That's right, folks. He's a serial killer. Who's going to want to go to that store now? Oh, I'm going to get my double-double at the serial killer's coffee shop? No, they're going to have to rename it.
I don't know. There's something kind of badass about what was the connection with the business. Did he find a way to dispose of the bodies? Like wrap the tiny little piece of a human inside of a Timbit? Timbit being a donut hole? Like, you'd be curious, like, my dad's old enough. Did he eat a few people's worth of Timbits in his day?
You know, they don't make things like they used to, son. The jelly-filled used to taste a lot more meaty.
I had very high iron levels back then. So I think, like, if there's a bit in this about what would it take to cancel Tim Hortons, I think the thing is, like, they discover footage of him ranting in the locker room in like 1961, and I think with telling it as a joke, if you're doing an act out of a guy being a bigot, you sound like a bigot unless you find a safe target, and in my mind the safest target, at least in Canada, are Newfies. I think Newfies are still pretty okay to pick on because they're just white people, white Eastern province people.
It is. I'm not sure if I'm Irish or I'm French. What are they? Do they have a funny accent?
Hey McGonagall, how many Newfies does it take to stop a hockey puck? More than one, obviously, you goddamn Newfie. And then his teammate's like, whoa, Tim, you're really hitting the Newfies pretty hard. They prefer to be called Newfoundlanders. They're always going to be Newfies in 1961, and they're going to be Newfies forever. Or my name isn't goddamn Tim. I hate Newfies Horton. God, I could go for a coffee right now.
The only thing I hate more than Newfies is seatbelts. I hate wearing my seatbelt.
Folks, Tim Horton died in a car crash. Yeah. But anyway, the argument is always, you're trying to change history. No, we're trying to be more inclusive. I think there's some fine line between we're rewriting the past because we don't want to talk about those things anymore, versus we're trying to make ourselves look good now for being so much more advanced than the past was. You know, there are things that our leaders today are going to look backwards and primitive about in 50 years. The amount of money they're putting into renaming things like Dundas Street, last I heard was $30 million. I think there'll be a point in history where we kind of think, there still are hungry children out there. How much are you getting paid again? Oh, you just gave yourself a raise. Okay. Let's put an asterisk on your statue. Like, these are going to be petty concerns. Like, we've already got AI that might take, like, half of all jobs, and we're wondering what we should name that place where this line, the invisible line, and that invisible line meet on the map. Mm-hmm. It's silly to me.
No, it's more than it's stupid. It really is dumb.
Why were they putting the resources into names when they should have been preparing for Skynet? Didn't they know it was coming?
Anyways, it's been nice talking to you, Eric. Until next time.
Until next time, take care.
Ciao.